Hey y'all, let's start some seeds. Today what I'm starting from seeds is a perennial called Veronica, and the variety is blue carpet Veronica. I start most of my seeds in something called a soil block, and I will show you guys start to finish how I make soil blocks, how I sow the seeds, and how I start them under grow lights and heat mats. This is where we begin for making soil blocks. I have here an old screen from a window that I've placed over what is commonly referred to as a concrete mixing tray. These are super cheap. I actually found this one on the side of the road by the house, and I sift my soil into the concrete mixing tray so I can get all of these large pieces out. These large pieces will make your blocks fall apart. We want to get them out. So I will sift all this soil through here. I use Fox Farms Coco Loco soil. I don't have any kind of deal with them. I just really like them. I've had really good luck using them for my soil blocks. So I'll continue to sift this out until I have enough fine soil underneath in the concrete mixing tray to start adding my water and making my blocks. So as I get a bunch of stuff built up on the screen, I just take it outside and I toss it off. One of the main reasons that I started doing soil blocks, instead of starting my seeds in the plastic 72 or 48 count little plug trays that you see a lot of people starting seeds in, or you can get it at Home Depot or online. They're those little cell trays that sit down inside a larger watertight tray, and you pack all of those smaller cells with soil. Here, I'll show you one. This is what I'm talking about. They sell these at Dollar General. This sits down inside this. It's watertight. You would fill this with soil, and then you'd start your seeds in there, and your plug would fill up these, and you could just bottom water it. I honestly didn't like how long those lasted. I felt like I was going through them every season with my seeds. They were cracking at the bottom, splitting apart. I had to throw them away. I didn't really feel good about that. But not only that, I noticed that the health of my seedlings just wasn't great. It was growing a lot of algae and mold on the top of the trays, and I just didn't feel like they were the healthiest starts that I could do. So I started researching soil blocking, and it's pretty inexpensive to get started in, and everything that I was reading about it just made it sound much more environmentally friendly, and also makes for a healthier, stronger plant because of the airflow that's around the blocks. And I've had great luck with it so far. So now I start most of my seeds in blocks instead of trays. That's enough soil to be getting on with. So now we're going to moisten it. We're pre-moistening this soil so that we can pack a good soil block. This is what is going to help. This water is going to help our blocks come out and stay in one shape once they leave the blocker. The kind of consistency that we want on these soil blocks is kind of like something that you would want to make a sandcastle with. It is moist, but it's not sopping wet. When I squeeze it in my palm, it should hold its shape. Need more water, but it shouldn't necessarily just drip water. Then that means it's a little bit too wet. That's exactly what we're looking for right there. So now that all the water has been mixed throughout, we're in good shape to start blocking. This is the soil blocker that I use. It is Ladbroke, which is the brand that I would suggest to you if you're going to get into soil blocking. I would go ahead and get Ladbroke. It is a little bit more expensive, but they are so well made, and this tool is going to last you forever. and they are so easy to use, so high quality. I really recommend them. They're on Amazon, but there are a lot of imitations of this product, but I've tried them. They do not work as well as the Ladbroke soil blocker. So let me show you the inside of the soil blocker. As you can see, here's the inside. Do you see those little white dots? Those are going to make divots in the top of our soil block, which is where the seed is going to sit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to gather a bunch of soil up here towards the top of the tray using this kind of like wiggling motion. That's how I'm packing a lot of soil into the blocker at a time. I can't just push once and then bring it up. I'm not going to have enough soil. So I'm kind of like gathering it, scooching it around so that it's underneath the blocker, then pressing down like that. Do that several times. I scrape it off. If I don't scrape it, when I set these blocks on the tray, they are going to just kind of like wobble and fall over because the bottom is going to be uneven. This is my tray. These are just lunch trays from Amazon, y'all. Okay, so here's how I set out my blocks. I position the blocker on the tray where I want the blocks to pop out. Hold by this handle, push down, and pull up at the same time. See how I'm doing that, like this kind of motion, like this, squeezing like that. Here they are. Here's one up close. You can see the little divot that was made by those little plastic pieces, and that's where the seed's going to sit. Let me fill up this tray. These are the seeds that we're going to be starting today. Like I said, they're called Blue Carpet Veronica. This is from a company called Swallowtail Seeds, Swallowtail Garden Seeds. Highly, highly, highly recommend them. They have great seeds and a really great selection. If you look down here, you'll see the planting instructions. Don't cover, light age germination, at 65 degrees, germination in 14 to 21 days. So let's go ahead and get these out of the packet, see what we got here. So usually when they package them twice like this, it means they're really, really, really tiny, and sure enough, these are really tiny. I'm gonna try not to, I'm trying to open this the right way so they don't all fall out. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna pop this packet open like that, so I can kind of see what I got working with. Sorry, the afternoon light is very harsh right now. You can see how tiny they are. So all I'm going to do from this point is pour them into the palm of my hand so that I can easily see them, and just place them one by one into the little divots of my soil blocks. So from here, I'll just sprinkle the tops with vermiculite. Vermiculite really just kind of helps control moisture and prevents some of that algae growth that's really not desirable on the top of the soil blocks, but still sometimes happens. And since the seedling packet said do not cover, I'm just going to do this really lightly. Vermiculite is not so thick that it's going to inhibit the light that the Veronica needs to germinate. All we do next is label these guys with the variety. Sorry, Maple. With the variety and the date that we seeded them, I placed this tape on the tray to help me remember what it is, and then it's going to go on a heat mat. Now we wait.